USA Warrior Stories is a not-for-profit organization designed to record, archive, and share videos of veteran stories, to help veterans make a connection with one another and to help us all better understand their sacrifices for our freedoms.
I was 17 years old when I decided to join the military. And of course, I had to get permission from my mother to sign off on it. Wasn't a big problem because my brother and I both joined at the same time. Well, we came from a large family, and we didn't have very much. And a lot of us, our group, heard that the National Guard was taking in minorities if they could qualify. And we all talked and we decided to try. And about 7 of us joined at the same time. I went to boot camp in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, infantry. I was with the National Guard for about a year and I decided to go active Army. When I went active Army, they sent me to artillery training. And somebody at the artillery camp said at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, said that you can join the Airborne if you want to. You got to pass the test. I didn't know nothing about Airborne, but I tried, and I passed the test. Got assigned to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Went to jump school, graduated. And then I heard that they were recruiting minorities for the Green Beret. So I put in my paperwork. And fellows in the barracks say, well, you'll never be able to make it, and you're too young, and they won't take you. And they did take me. And I was a little over 18 years old when I went to the Green Beret. It was a lot different. It was a lot harder. It demanded a lot of you, but I enjoyed it. And I never complained. I just kept moving on. It took me 2 years to qualify as a Green Beret of Special Forces. And I was supposed to go to Vietnam in 1964, but I got injured, or either injured myself or couldn't go. So I was reassigned to the 82nd Airborne Division. And when I got there in April 1965, I went to the Dominican Republic with them.
Army units of the Dominican Republic, including members of this Special Forces Battalion, are receiving training in counter-guerrilla and riot control tactics at a mountain school under the guidance of personnel of the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division.
Well, after I came back from the Dominican Republic, I went back to the Green Beret, and I volunteered to go to Vietnam, because I wasn't selected and I wanted to go. It took me 2 or 3 tries, but I finally got orders to go. I went to Vietnam in February 1969. I was stationed in the Delta, as they call it, the Delta region, the 4th Corps zone of Vietnam. My duties was an advisor to a Cambodian mic force company. It's indigenous personnel that we advised to fight the Viet Cong. I got along well with the Mountain Yards, Cambodians. I still stay in touch with them today. They stay in touch with me. So it was easy, except for the combat. Our mission was to hunt the enemy. We didn't wait till the enemy come to us. So we were actively in combat quite a bit. I stayed with that unit until I was wounded in September of '69. We had moved up to one of the base B teams, and we left our B team to move up to where they were at, which was near the Cambodian border. And I knew that we were going into a major operation when they moved the whole unit. I reorganized my troops, and I was bringing up the rear. And I got a radio call from my captain, which was west of me, with his unit. And he said he had been wounded several times, and my team sergeant had been killed. So I had to do what I was trained to do. You move up and you take over. But the one thing that was stuck in my mind is that I had to recover my team sergeant body at all costs. And so when I moved up, we made contact with some enemy, but it was just minor. And once we got to where his body was at, I checked his vitals, he was dead. Went back to get some troops to help me get him out. And when we did that, the jungle opened up, bullets from everywhere. And I had 2 people with me. They both got wounded. I didn't get hit. I took them out and I had to come back with some more volunteers. We got back in, we got his body and dragged it out. And then his map case fell out of his pocket. And then I had to make a decision, do I want to let the enemy have that, or do I go back and get it? And they got code books in the map case, they got maps in the map case, they got personnel strength. You know, you don't want the enemy to have none of that. So me and my interpreter went back in again. Nearest bunker, I threw in a hand grenade. And then every time I saw a bunker, I threw hand grenades in it. And we got the map case. And when I got the map case, I got shot in the chest. And my interpreter was out of there, he was gone. I got up behind a tree, I had to check my wound to make sure that I could survive it. I did what I could to patch the hole in my chest. And while I'm doing that, they're still trying to shoot me. And I was up behind a tree and they were shooting into the tree. And I got shot in the arm with them trying to shoot into the tree. And then I had 1 hand grenade left. I saw another enemy to my west. I threw the hand grenade at him, I got shot again. And so I was in there by myself. I was wounded 3 times. And I said, do you die or do you fight? So I made the decision to fight. So I fought till I was out of ammunition. And once I was out of ammunition, I had to make a break for it. It just so happened that the Navy was in the area, Seabees. I talked to them on the radio, and I asked them what could they do for me. And they said, well, we don't have nothing but explosives on board. We'll drop them. That was a good distraction. They dropped the explosives. I got like a few seconds, and I was out of there. And they were, bullets are passing by me as I'm leaving. And I didn't know how far the unit was at, but I run about, I guess, a quarter mile till I caught up with them and got medevac. I never thought negative. I was always on the positive side. I never thought I was going to get killed. I didn't worry about it. I just knew fight as long as I had the strength. Volunteered to go back. I wasn't quite healed up yet. And I was back in Vietnam in April of '70. I was there for 13 months. I went to special ops. And our mission was classified, but most of it was to rescue people that we had to rescue. I kind of like hung out to myself since I was a virus. I didn't hang out at the club with other guys. But racism was there, both tours. It was kind of like under the table, but you knew it was there. And people self-segregated, I guess what you would say, which made it bad. During the time I came in, during the time that civil unrest, racism was really high. And I was always aware of it, always conscious of it, because I grew up where I couldn't walk across to the other side of the street, so I knew how it was. So I got out of the Army in 1974, and I went to work for Sears, and I wasn't making no money. I had family to feed, so I told my wife I'm going back in the military. I was out 3 years. Asked them could they come back, and they said, no, you're too old, you're 36 years old. But they gave me a waiver, so I went back into the military at 36 as an E4. And I asked to go back to the Green Beret, and they say you'll never pass, they'll never take you. Went back to the Green Beret. I passed the course back in the Green Beret. I stayed there with the Green Beret until 1982. Came back, went back to Fort Hood, Texas. I retired in 1985. I never knew anything about the Medal of Honor. I never even met a Medal of Honor recipient. Even though I've been in the military all that time. I heard of them. Got a call May 2013. And this call was from the White House, Colonel Davis. And he say, there's a high dignitary that needs to speak to you. I need you by the phone at 12:30 tomorrow, which is the next day. And I got scared. I said, oh, crap. I said, I'm in trouble. Because I had worked, classified stuff. And I could not imagine why the Pentagon would be calling me. And my wife said, I told her, I said, the men in black are looking for me. They want me, they're gonna get me. I'd have done something wrong. She said, no, the men in black want you, they be here right now. I said, okay. So I was on the phone the next day. Colonel Davis said, well, this dignitary is standing by to speak to you. And I didn't have no clue who this could be. It's gotta be higher than a colonel. And I got on the phone and said, this is President Obama. He said, I want to apologize to you for not receiving the Medal of Honor 44 years ago. I'm going to present you with a Congressional Medal of Honor, but you need to do me a favor. Keep this confidential until you get official notification. That official notification came 13 months later. And I almost went crazy trying to maintain my cool and keep it quiet for 13 months.
Sergeant First Class Melvin Morris distinguished himself by acts of gallantry and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty while serving as commander of a strike force drawn from Company D, 5th Special Forces Group, Airborne.
I think I was still in space. I really don't know what was going on through my head, I don't know whether I felt proud or was scared or disbelief or what. But I knew I was there at the White House. It still hasn't sunk in. To me personally, no war is worth it. But we do what we have to do and we do what we're ordered to do. And if you're involved in it, you do the best you can. A loss of life is never acceptable, never. And I hear it every day, you listen to media. But someone has to do it. And once we're in there, we're in there. And we have to complete the mission. I have no angst about the military. I love the military. I love my country. I'd go back and fight again.